Ole, can you explain about yourself, Ole? How you got the award and you get the Apache name and so on.
Okay, so for about 40 years, I've devoted my life to try and find out what is going on in the world. I used to work as a journalist, and in 1980 was the first time I saw how Kennedy was being murdered in the so-called Zapruder film, where it's very obvious, where you can see the final shot that hits him from the front, and his head is thrown back to the left, meaning that the shooter must have been standing in the front and to the right. I mean, it's just normal physics. But the official story said something completely different, and that was very, very confusing to me, that something so obviously that was not correct was being backed by big power, big news agencies, documentaries, all kinds of stuff. That was so it started a long, like a 40-year long trip for me to go into very dark areas of conspiracy and the things that I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But the area I got into was the area of assassinations, of top political assassinations, at the same time that I was on a very spiritual path in my life as well. So over the years, it's somehow I put it together. I call it conspirituality, where I feel that it is, I've been trying to understand evil and why are these things happening? I mean, why are normal, wonderful people being hurt? Why is it always the few that benefits from the death of the thousands? And this injustice, it's been very hard for me to understand. And also I've been feeling in my heart very strongly that it's not okay, absolutely not okay. And the more I've been finding out about what is actually going on in the world, the more I see that nobody is doing anything about it, or very few. So if I want a change in the world, I have to do it myself. That is what I found. So I started traveling. I've been to more than 50 countries, and I've been on site many places, war zones, also sites where alleged terror attacks have happened, alleged mass shootings, and so on. And what I found over the years is that the official story is more or less never true. Very, very strange, but this is what I found. And so I've been trying to find out every single time what actually happened, not to prove a point, but to see if we don't understand what the problem is, then we cannot come up with a solution. And if, for instance, if the official problem is that some Muslim terrorist is said to have done this, if that is true, then Muslim terrorists are the problem and we need to find a solution. But I have found the exact opposite, that many times the ones that are being accused of having done these things are completely innocent, and behind the scenes are instead very dark forces, very, very often in governments, very often in organizations like NATO and CIA, Mossad, these agencies in the background. These are the ones that I keep bumping into again and again and again. And I've looked into, I think it must be thousands of cases now. I've been interviewed internationally more than 1,100 times. I've been touring in 15 countries, speaking in 15 countries. I've had death threats. I've been shot. I've been almost hit by cars. I've been, you name it, I've been there. But the thing is, in my heart, many times I've asked myself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because it is very scary. And I've been very, very afraid many times. And also because I have a family, we had to change countries twice. I've had people murdered around me. And so I've been asking myself, why am I doing this? It doesn't make any sense. But in my heart, it does. My head, my brain gets scared because I'm trying to find a logical reason to why to continue. But my heart knows this is the right thing. It's not a war I want to fight. I just want peace and harmony and compassion and equality for everyone. But up until now, the balance in the world is very different. And so many people are not aware of what is actually going on behind the scenes, how a few people are pulling the strings that we don't see. We just see the theater that is being played out in front of us. But so what I've been trying to is, with the truth, absolutely non-violence, but with the truth, try and expose it. That is why my website is also called Light on Conspiracies. And what I've been trying to do is go into the belly of the beast, into the darkest of the dark corners, but with a light, to shine the light and expose the truth of whatever the truth is. I mean, the way I see it is, even if the truth can be very, very painful to see sometimes, it's only when we dare to see it, when we dare to face it, that's when we can shine the light in there and the healing can start. There's so many traumas around these things, like if it's a massacre or an assassination or whatever, many times it's not only the victims that we see, but also their families, their friends, their children that have lost their parents. The tragedies are so much bigger, and for me it's just not okay. And I have a vision. I want a world in absolute peace. I want paradise on earth. Is it going to happen? I have no idea. Is it possible? The answer is yes. So I will do everything I can to be part of accomplishing that. If I will succeed, fantastic. If I will fail, then at least I tried. And so I've devoted my life to stand up against these forces and with the truth expose them. And this has made me become a very hated person from the dark ones and a very loved one among other people, thank God. So I'm in a very, how can I say? I just know that I try to not follow my mind. Laws that are made by other people that are trying to rule people, these laws I will break. I will follow the laws of the heart, and I will break any rule or law that will stop me from helping people.